I got it. He's southbound on that street right here. I got him. Dark. Yeah, I got it here. Southbound. That should be it. Yep. This may have been involved in a shooting. Suspects, about 5 of them. This is Rosemead. Keep it flat. This is it, Catherine. This is it. We're by yourselves? David? Wow. Copy. Thank you. Oh, no. Wrong side of the road. He's going to go around that car. Oh, man. Airship overhead is tracking the vehicle. Fly it, David. $85 miles an hour. We're alone, right, David? Was going 85. He's in traffic now. Southbound Del Mar approaching Paseo Grande. This vehicle was involved in, possibly involved in a shooting. This is about 4 or 5 suspects inside the vehicle. The Sheriff's Department initiated this pursuit by the Rose Hill Cemetery, and now it's on surface streets in San Gabriel now. You have eyes on it? One minute. Okay, thank you. I'm ready to go. $30 out. Party has a knife. It might not be a shooting, maybe a stabbing. Kathy, we're looking at this black SUV. This pursuit started by the Pico Sheriff's Department in the Rose Hill Cemetery area. In fact, this vehicle came out of Rose Hill Cemetery, got on surface streets. The Sheriff's Department tried to pull it over, and that's when the car took off. We understand there's as many as 5 people inside that vehicle. Now, they're wanted for weapons. They may have a knife. At first, we thought it was a shooting call, but now we're hearing that the suspect or suspects inside this vehicle may have a knife. It may have been a stabbing call that they were responding to, but at this point, this pursuit is on surface streets in the South San Gabriel area and continuing southbound. It looks like this is going to be on San Gabriel Boulevard approaching Rosemead. The speeds have been very high on freeways. In fact, the driver got on the 60 freeway at one point, made his way up the 710 to the 10 freeway, got off on surface streets, and here's where we're at. Now the CHP got involved. They took over the pursuit, but now they've backed off, and now it's just the airship overhead that's tracking this suspect vehicle right now as he's now on Durfee from Rosemead, and he's been driving very erratic here. He goes passing on the wrong side of the road. And we've seen this since we got on the pursuit about 5 minutes ago. He's been driving very erratic, blowing red lights, traveling at speeds of about 90 miles an hour at one point on the freeway. But again, this guy's desperate to get away. Well, you know, they have the airship overhead, and because of the erratic driving, I should say, they pulled back on the ground. They have the airship tracking, but the driver knows that the airship's here. They know that he's being tracked. So at this point, they're just trying to stay with eyes on the vehicle and try to get other units in position. Now, if he jumps on the freeway, the CHP will again take over the pursuit. But again, you know, the concern is on surface streets, erratic driving, very dangerous for people out there on the road. And so the officers try to give this guy some space to think about what he's doing and how he's driving. But so far, it really hasn't worked a whole lot because he's driving on the wrong side of the road and blowing red lights. Well, he's actually going back towards, we're actually close to the Rose Hill Cemetery where this all started. So, Jonathan, he could jump on the 605 or the 60 itself. Here he goes, the southbound turn. This is Peck Road. So he's going back towards the cemetery itself. We'll see if he ends up going back into the cemetery where they first had the vehicle when this pursuit started. Yeah, initially the deputies that got behind this vehicle were calling it 5 suspects or 5 people inside the vehicle. Now he looks like he's transitioning onto the 605 freeway here, so he's going to be going southbound 605. Yeah, we're confirmed that southbound 605 from Peck Road. I'm sorry, and there's the freeway. Looking up ahead, he's got some moderate to light traffic up ahead, so we'll see if CHP engages now once he's on the freeway. Yeah, in fact, I'm looking out my left window, Jonathan. I'm looking at the cemetery right now. On the right is the pursuit, so he's going right by the cemetery right now on the 605 freeway. Well, we were hoping to hear from the Sheriff's Department if there was some sort of incident there at the cemetery or if they were just following the vehicle and he turned into the cemetery and then came back out. I'm looking out the window right now as I'm shooting this and to see if there's any police activity or deputies in the cemetery itself, and I'm not seeing that just looking out the window real quick. But so it's unclear if there was something that happened at the cemetery or if the driver just happened to turn in there for a brief time. Yeah, I believe that the CHP will not back down when they're on the freeway like this. Nothing yet, but I'm sure they're getting the units in position right now. Southbound 605 approaching Beverly. He's in that HOV lane there and driving at regular speeds right now. But again, we'll see what happens. Well, before we got here, we heard speeds of about 70 miles an hour on surface streets. He was going pretty quick. He was up there about 65 miles an hour when we saw him. I think you're right, Jonathan. I think he thinks that he's blending in. You know, he may not be aware of the airship overhead. He may not be aware of us right now, but you can see how he's making that multiple lane change. Might be exiting here, but we'll see what happens if he's just using that shoulder to pass or if he's just, oh, look at that. It's a gore point. Wow. So, yeah, let me come in a little closer so we can get a look inside the vehicle and see what we have here. Let me adjust the camera a little bit as we adjust our speed here. But you see the driver looks like he's wearing a white shirt, possibly. The windows are tinted, so it's hard to see what's going on in the back seat. But again, this driver, very reckless, very dangerous, trying to get away, evading officers, evading those deputies in the very beginning of the pursuit. And again, armed with a knife, we're hearing. We're looking at about, actually about 15 to 20 minutes now. So, you know, the speed of the vehicle when it got on the freeway, that really ramped things up and he covered a lot of ground. In fact, he went all the way from the cemetery all the way to East LA, up to the 10 freeway, up to Alhambra, and then now back passing the, we're already past the cemetery right now, approaching the 5 freeway here in a couple miles. Traffic is still about moderate, and here he goes. Look at this. Wow, all the way across lanes, and look why. Here. Yeah, so the CHP now directly behind, and we'll see what happens here at the end of the off-ramp. He's going to make that right turn, sweeping right turn. He's going to be going westbound here. This is Slauson. Oh yeah, for sure. And look at the speeds ramp up here. I'm looking, in fact, I'm going to bring in my speedometer and the map system that we have in here, and it'll tell you on there exactly what speed he's going. You can see that map there on your screen now. But again, he's doing about 70 miles an hour down to 60. He's coming up to some, well, look at that, wrong side of the road. Now he's going to go into a shopping center maybe here. Very dangerous. Yeah, definitely, Kathy. You see southbound on Passons is the road, Passons and Pico Rivera now. So we're coming around, adjusting the helicopter here, and then going to pick them up southbound. But yeah, you're right, Jonathan. One CHP unit is not enough with 5 suspects inside the vehicle. At any point, they can jump out and run all different directions. They always stick with the driver, though, so they'll try to keep up with the driver as he makes that left turn eastbound here on side streets in a neighborhood. Keep it flat, David. Oh, for sure. It's so dangerous here. People, you know, out in their front yards and not knowing what's going on. This car coming fast down their street, and you see what happened here. That unit has dropped back quite a bit, but the airship overhead, the sheriff's helicopter overhead, giving direction to that unit. So he's made a couple of quick turns. He's probably lost the vehicle there for a second, but now he's coming out on Telegraph Road here, eastbound Telegraph, heading back towards the 605 freeway now. So we'll see what happens as far as getting additional units on this pursuit. But he's approaching the 605 now in about a half mile. Yeah, that's the freeway. There it is, right under this. Yep, right under the 605 Telegraph. He's going to come up to that turn pocket. He looks like he's going to think about going north. Yeah, northbound 605, right back towards the cemetery again. So we'll see what happens here as the CHP. I'll come out to a wider shot, and you see the unit far back there, but he's sticking with it. He'll pick up some momentum to catch up to the suspect vehicle. Northbound 605 now from Telegraph. Yeah, exactly. It's a big sweeping area, so it's likely that this driver, the suspects in there, they are familiar with the area around the cemetery. They could be from that area, and we see that time and time again in pursuits that the drivers will return to areas that they know of and try to bail out there and try to seek shelter. So we'll see if he gets off the freeway again at the cemetery, but right now you're seeing he's just using that shoulder to pass Speeds up to about 85 miles an hour right now. Yeah, so here we go. He's just south of the cemetery, but let's see if he gets back on. No, he's going to go right back on. Yeah, you know, he's still far back. Let me come out wider. I don't want to lose the vehicle, but still nothing in our shot right now. But I know that they're back there and in trail, and they will make up some distance here on the vehicle. Absolutely. Right now, Whittier PD's on notice because he's coming through the Whittier area, and you know, so and of course the sheriffs that initially started this, it's in their area, coming into their area as well right now. So no concern there. They have a great system where they can hand off and call the. I'm sorry, I'm listening to the scanner here. Call the other police departments in the area so that they can assist or take over. Yeah, it should be. I believe this is Pioneer Boulevard. So he made that sweeping turn on the Pioneer and right back on the. Well, let's see here if he gets back on the freeway or not. No, it looks like he's going to be going on a surface street westbound. This is going to be Beverly Boulevard here, and now he has the opportunity to go southbound, and he's going to do it. He's going to swing around there, the CHP right on his tail, and this guy is having a little bit of difficulty calling at those high rates of speeds there on that turn. Almost losing control there, but he kept it in place, and now he's southbound again, 605. Well, yeah, you know, it's a little difficult on the freeway right now because there's so many vehicles, they're driving so fast. And although he's sticking to the 605 freeway, it'll make it a big challenge for the CHP to try to put a spike strip out. But if he's coming back to this area near, in the Pico Rivera area near the cemetery, they certainly could set up along the 605 somewhere on like Pioneer or Workman Mill Road and set up a spike strip there. But so far, right now at least, he's going away from that area now. Yeah, definitely. And you see him just trying to make sense of which way he's going, try to make a decision. Here he is going off again. Well, no, he's going to use the gore point and stay on. So he's trying to, you know, psych out that officer behind him, throw him off. But these officers are so well trained; they know what's going to happen here. And here he goes once again. Let's see if he does take it. You see the officer using the gore point, and he sticks with it. At the very last second, the officer swings back onto the exit. This is Washington Boulevard. Well, no, he's going to stay on the transition road back onto the freeway. So he tried to fool the officer there with a little move there, but he didn't. He was not successful. That officer doing a great job staying with the pursuit vehicle every move he's making. Oh, no. Here's a pit maneuver. Oh, he had an opportunity there. He couldn't make it. The driver saw it and went into this neighborhood here. I'm trying to get you the streets here. Sunny, shady side is the street he just came off of. And wow, this is so dangerous here in this neighborhood. Again, back into a neighborhood. No one knows it's coming. 1 unit behind, in pursuit, 25-mile-an-hour speed zone. And the driver just hitting the gas, trying to get away. Wow, what a move there. It's going to out back onto Pioneer Boulevard. Cross traffic. Here's the pit right there. Spins it out of control. Nice job, but oh no, it's not enough. Not enough on that heavy SUV. He's going to continue now southbound on Pioneer. What a great job by that pit maneuver of that CHP officer. And now he's going to be southbound. He's going to go at a higher rate of speed, and we'll see if he tries to get back on the freeway. You know, I lost eyes on it. It looks like he did. Yeah, he's still there. He's still in it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yes, he's back over the west side of the 605 freeway once again in Pico Rivera. And we'll see if they're going to have another one, another pit maneuver there. I hear them talking about trying to get that happen. Slauson is the streets, westbound Slauson, about 50 miles an hour, and he's going to be coming up to an intersection shortly. You got cars there trying to dive out of the way, get out of the way. Here's the intersection. He's going to use that right shoulder. He's going to pass on a red light, right through the light. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 65 miles an hour right now, Jonathan, on Slauson, and he's just going to continue. Now I'm hearing the ground units might be pulling off again, once again, because of the speeds. So it's definitely cat and mouse. It's definitely a difficult situation. Oh, he thought about going in there, but now that the officer's pulled back, look at there. Here comes a passenger bailing out. He bailed out of the driver's side in the rear. He's going to run across the heavy intersection with a lot of cars. He's going to keep going. I'm going to stay with the vehicle. That's one of the 5. And yeah, I think they saw the opportunity with the units backing away. They had an opportunity when he slowed up in for that intersection for one of them to get out. He was successful. Luckily, he didn't. He could have fallen getting out of that vehicle and could have been run over, but he made it out. Now we got 4, supposedly 4 more in the vehicle. 50 miles an hour, still westbound Slauson in Pico Rivera. Yeah, it's likely that they definitely backed off, pulled back. I'm going to pull out a little bit to see it. It looks like they're driving a little bit more cautious, although there he goes on the wrong side of the road. And, you know, it doesn't seem like there's units behind him now. It sounds like what we heard is confirmed that they pulled back and away. The helicopters are watching overhead. Excuse me, overhead. I was a little surprised to see the pit with the SUV like that, and it was very successful, except I think because it got up on that center divider, it wasn't enough to get it to, you know, disable the vehicle. So unfortunately, that's still happening here. This pursuit's still ongoing here. He just made the left turn on Greenwood in the Commerce area. Yeah. 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 That was it looked like a male and a female. The female getting out of the passenger side, the male coming out that same door on the driver's side. I can hear the airship though talking. They have great eyes on those two that just got out there, acting like they're walking down the street on a Sunday night, but they have eyes on them. They're gonna they're gonna get them into custody very soon. Exactly. Let's see. Well, actually, we're moving into Bell Gardens now. We're Gage. We're on Gage right now. Gage Avenue, westbound on Gage. Well, we're still on Gage, westbound on Gage, and it's approaching the 710 freeway in about a mile and a half. So he'll have that option to get on the 710. The airship's still tracking, still calling the pursuit right now, which is now in surveillance mode. So no units currently behind. Bell Gardens Police Department could get into, or Bell, the city of Bell, can get into this pursuit as well if they choose to. But so far, we're not seeing that happening. And if he certainly gets on that 710 freeway, he'll definitely be back into the CHP territory, and they'll likely take over from there if it gets on the freeway. Let's catch up, David. Oh, definitely. In fact, they might already be in custody. I saw a couple of units that were going opposite direction of this pursuit, heading towards that direction. So it's likely that they were able to get them into custody, or at least still have eyes on them and try to get them into custody shortly. I know that there's two police helicopters overhead. I believe they're both sheriff's helicopters, but one might be a CHP now. But again, this driver still westbound on Gage, approaching Vinevale, and still going about 35 miles an hour. He's got some heavy traffic right now. He's got no pressure from behind. There's no units there. You can see there's just no police cars behind the vehicle, and he's kind of calmed down a little bit, which is good. He's not driving erratic, trying to get around cars, just kind of staying in lanes right now and trying to blend in again. Well, now, no, it's the 710's behind him now. He's going northbound Atlantic. He could take Atlantic up to up towards the 5 and the 710, So it's possible that he can get back to the freeway right now, but so far it's mostly surface streets now for the next couple miles. Well, sort of. There he's running a red light. So he's still doing that, but just not as fast, which is better than what he was doing before. Yeah, definitely. The pressure really puts the pressure on the gas pedal. So here he is, northbound Atlantic. The airship's overhead, tracking him. I'm trying to get eyes on surface streets here to see if there's any police cars approaching, but so far I don't see anything in this area. I think he found a way around the, yeah, he found a way around the traffic. Yeah, there he goes. Oh. Oh, for sure. You saw those people in the crosswalk. They had no idea what's going on. This guy just pulls out. Here he goes, pulling out right in front of a car. It's okay, David. Let him come out my side. It's now, let me see here. It's, well, I still have eyes on him here as he goes under us. But he's still, you know, willing to run those red lights, and he doesn't really care much about people in the street. 5 o'clock. Yeah, definitely. You know, we've been through Bell Gardens, Bell, now Maywood, Vernon. He's going into Vernon now. Northbound Atlantic, I believe it is, and he's going to go around traffic here. We're going to try to catch back up to him. But now he's got the freeway ahead of him, so 710 freeway. Let's see if he decides to do that. But yeah, so many jurisdictions. They're all aware that a pursuit's coming into their city, into their area, and they're, you know, willing to help out and assist in any way they can, especially with intersections, trying to close down intersections before the pursuit gets to it. So right now, again, still in tracking mode. There's the freeway. He's going to go under the freeway here and pop out the other side. And that is the 710 freeway. Now he's got the left turn. He's going to swing across those lanes. And he looks like he's going to be going on the freeway here. Let's see. Stand by. No, maybe not. Well, no, I was just going to say westbound Bandini right now in the city of Vernon, approaching Indiana, and if he continues in this direction, he's going to get into LAPD's area very soon. So we'll see if LAPD gets involved in any way. But certainly, I did see that there's a CHP helicopter and a sheriff's helicopter both over the pursuit right now. So it's likely those three that bailed out are probably in custody, if not a perimeter set up for their the search of them. Well, you know, I think the CHP will definitely engage if he gets back on the freeway. But right now, no. It sounds like they're just going to track from the air and hopefully they'll wait for this guy to bail out and then swoop in to get him. But right now he's still continuing westbound on Bandini, and if he does continue, he's going to get into LAPD's, I believe it's Newton Division, in a short while here. You know, not necessarily, Jonathan. They may go into surveillance mode themselves if they choose to pick up the pursuit. They could engage and see what happens for at least a short time, but it's likely that they'll keep it in surveillance mode and just keep an eye, get the word exactly where the vehicle is currently, and then try to get units in that area in case the driver and the other passenger bails out. We're looking at Soto. So northbound Soto at 26th Street. Now he's going towards the East LA interchange. So that'll put him in Hollenbeck's, LAPD Hollenbeck division here shortly. Very close. He's heading right towards that Sears building off of Sears Soto. He is. He is. So that's problematic for sure. Yeah, definitely. So that's good. That's good news that he slowed down and staying on his side of the road for now. But if the CHP was to re-engage, you know, we saw they weren't shy about doing that pit maneuver and on surface streets when they had the opportunity. It was a great job on that pit maneuver, but unfortunately, just not enough with this size vehicle. Yeah, I think if the vehicle was pointed at the officer and then he tried to get away and towards the officer, then it is. But in that case, it looked like he was just spun around and just kind of alongside the officer, almost like they were looking out the windows at each other, and then he just hit the gas and took off. So. Yeah. Let's see. I think we're at Olympic Boulevard and downtown LA now. So yes, it's definitely moving into LAPD's jurisdiction right now. It should be a Newton division that he's back into here. And he's got that red light, and he's going to go right in that turn pocket. And look at that. He doesn't care. He's like, I'm going straight. I don't care if you're turning, and I'm just going to make my way through this intersection. Fortunately, he did it safely and not at a high rate of speed, but still. Yeah, I was hoping they wouldn't do that. We wouldn't be able to see him, but he did come out. Now he's definitely, you know, the north side of the 10 freeway in downtown. This would be the the southeast area of downtown LA, and he's going to continue on this street. It's Mateo Street at 7th Street. I think so. I think, you know, maybe he's moving into a more populated area where there's a lot of people on the streets and he can blend in. But now he's eastbound here on 7th Street and might have an opportunity. I think he will, if he continues on 7th Street, to get on the 5 freeway. No law enforcement, but he's in LAPD's area, so they may engage. Let's catch up a little bit. Now he's now southbound on Boyle, I believe it is. Southbound on Boyle, crossing over the East LA interchange. Now he's going south again, back towards, well, I guess it would be back towards Vernon. Eastbound turn onto 8th Street from Boyle. Look at that turn now, southbound on Soto. So now he's back on Soto. He's going southbound, though, the opposite direction. Yeah, for sure. He's now northbound on Boyle, so he's made a loop here. He's going back towards 7th Street, and he might be looking for a way onto the freeway. Not sure. It almost looks like he's not sure where he's at, like he's lost in this area. But now he's going to go right through that intersection. Wow, that white van, oh, man. Good thing he was a little bit ahead of that white van. It could have been really bad there, but he's willing to run those red lights. He's picked up the speed a little bit. I'm wondering, though, if LAPD is in the area, maybe caught wind of the police ships or the police cars down there, and is continued here. Now he's going to go under the 5 freeway, and he's going to get on. Let's see, is that the on ramp? No. He's going to continue there on Boyle. Get David. We need to catch up. Oh, right turn, eastbound. Looks like 1st Street. He's eastbound from Boyle on 1st Street. This is Boyle Heights, and he's moving away from the 5 freeway. A lot of people on surface streets. You saw a couple of people there in that crosswalk, so he threaded the needle through them. There have been some close calls. There have been a lot of close calls, especially early on in the pursuit. The driver was driving at 90 miles an hour on the freeway and using the shoulder center divider to pass. But right now it's a little less dramatic because the driver's driving a little bit slower, but still willing to run those red lights and doesn't really care about people in the street. That's the crazy part. Exactly. So now he's eastbound on 1st in Boyle Heights. He's heading towards the, I'm trying to get eyes on it. He's heading towards Evergreen Cemetery. In fact, that's Evergreen right there that he's passing right now. So one thing that he could do is pick up the 710 up ahead. I think the driver learned his lesson to stay away from the CHP because they don't mess around. Yeah. Exactly. That's right. And stuff like this. Here he goes, wrong side of the road to get around that red truck. So First Street eastbound at Townsend. He just crossed Townsend there, and approaching Rowan. There's Rowan, but the driver, continuing to just stay on the gas whether there's a red light or not. Oh. No, they haven't said much about anybody else. I think because, other than being able to see the driver, it's unclear if the other person is in the back seat or in the front passenger. It's hard to say, but nothing from the airships overhead so far. Yeah, he was bordering the 710 freeway on Ford Avenue, and then he just jumped onto the northbound 710. Ironically, right near the CHP station there at that corner we just saw. So now he's back on the northbound 710, approaching the 10 freeway. He has some options east or west on the 10. He has been on this freeway before. He did last time he was on it. He took the eastbound 10. There was heavy traffic on it. That was just before we arrived on the pursuit. We were the first news helicopter on this pursuit when we arrived, just a short time after he got on the 10 freeway. So let's see if he takes that 10 freeway eastbound. Right now the traffic is pretty, I'd say moderate on the 10 freeway. And then if he stays on the 710, he can go all the way to the end of the freeway, which is Valley Boulevard. He'll have to go east or west on Valley. Yeah, here he goes. He tried to make that transition at the last second. It looks like he's going to stay committed to the westbound 10, and he is. Westbound 10 from the 710. He's going to have this transition road. It's going to open up to 2 lanes here as soon as the curve straightens out, and then he'll be able to pass that vehicle. But so far, no word yet on the CHP involvement right now, but I'm sure they're getting units in position. Yeah, you're right, Jonathan. All those options, he'll have a couple of off ramps ahead of him before the 5 freeway. So yeah, he'll definitely have those options for the freeway. But right now we're waiting on that CHP to see if they're going to come in and try to do something with him. But right now he's just kind of free and clear to take this 10 freeway westbound. Traffic is actually a little lighter on the westbound 10 than the eastbound 10. It does, for sure. So he'll have the 5 freeway in a couple of miles here. He'll be able to exit Soto Street again if he decides to do that, and we'll see what he does. I'm hearing the CHP talk on their statewide channel about where the driver is right now, but so far, let me come out to a wide shot and see if there's any units trailing while we have some space here, but nothing in the about a quarter mile behind him. So it looks like for now, they're just going to stick with the tracking up above, and definitely the ground units for CHP are well aware that he's moving into the downtown LA area. Exactly. So now he's got the 5 freeway here coming up, and he's got the 10 that turns into the 101. If he stays on the 10 on the 5 right now, if he goes 5 north, he'll have heavy traffic past the 10 freeway. It looks like he's going to do the 101 though. Yeah, we have him at 80 miles an hour right now, and you know, he's got some open lanes here, so he's using that to his advantage to use that speed. But now this is that windy part of the transition from the 10 to the 101, and up ahead he's going to have traffic on the 101 as we normally see there through downtown. That was close. There he goes. He's going to stay on the freeway, at least for now. He didn't try to bail off on the first off-ramp there, but he could here. If he stays in this lane, I believe he will exit. This is Alameda, yeah. David, stay over it, real close. Yeah. Yes, he definitely exited at Alameda. Now the choice will be, will he turn into the downtown buildings? Will he stay going straight? If he stays straight, he'll dead end, and then he'll have to make a left or a right towards Chinatown. If he goes right and left towards downtown. So we'll see how far he takes us, but only a couple of streets, and then he'll have to make that decision. Well, it's the suspect vehicle, the suspect's worst nightmare. He's stuck in traffic. CHP has caught up. It looks like a couple of vehicles. He's getting out. The first and second now are getting out. But look at that driver still trying to roll. He's going to maybe try to force his way through here. He's on Arcadia Street, which borders the 101 freeway on the north side of the 101. And as soon as that signal changes, it looks like he's going to roll. But as I come out to a wider shot, you see more units. And so now we have what we're used to seeing is multiple vehicles behind the suspect vehicle. CHP there with their doors open. Now the lights turn green, and here he goes. He's going to not yield to the officer. Southbound turn there against that traffic, and now he's going to go towards the buildings. If he goes, yep, left, now he can get back on the freeway. So we'll see if he jumps back on the freeway here as he goes down to Aliso is the street there that borders on the south side of the 101. He's hitting the gas. There's the on-ramp, and he's going to take off. It's now southbound 101 freeway towards the 10 interchange there where he can go east, or he can just take the 101 and join the 5 freeway. So we'll see what he does. Yeah, definitely. It's a dangerous move because the driver could back into them at any time, but they're well trained for this. Looks like he's going to be committed southbound 101 transition to the 5 freeway here. You can actually do the 5 and I believe the 60 as well. We'll see what he does, but here he might be exiting. Let's see. Yeah, Boyle Heights again, wrong side of the road, 4th Street eastbound, away from the 101, away from the 5 freeway, the CHP in trail. They may go back into surveillance mode by just because of the way he's driving here. Very radical there and passing on the right. The unit's still there in trail. It looks like 2, 3, maybe even the 4th one still in this. But again, eastbound into Boyle Heights on 4th Street. They could, and look at the aggressiveness of that lead vehicle. I mean, he's coming up on him. He's basically telling that driver, hey, you're not getting away from us, so just pull it over and give it up. But he's not going to do that, obviously. Absolutely, and look at the speeds. He's picked it up. He's willing to go on the wrong side of the road again. We've seen him threaten that, crossing over the double yellows there, and we'll see if he continues. He's southbound right now on Soto. There's the East LA interchange, and he's going to go under there and continue back on Soto Street. So this is a pattern. He's been here before, and we'll see. The CHP, though, right in tail this time. They're not backing off. David, turn the air AC on. It is really tight. He's turned into this area just south of the 5 freeway, and he's working his way through here. It's a possibility he might be thinking about bailing out, but there's so many officers now directly behind him, and those officers are itching to do that pit maneuver. You will see on a turn if they try to get in there tight, and like that officer's doing now, that was an opportunity. They didn't feel comfortable doing it there, so that's okay. They're going to find that right spot to do that pit maneuver and then try to bring it to an end. Let's see here. This is going to be 8th Street. He's back on 8th Street westbound. Right turn. Yeah, now he's northbound Boyle, back towards the East LA interchange. You're seeing the night sunlight. Now that the sun's starting to set, we're able to see that light come on. They're going to be tracking there from the air, and we'll see what he does here. If he tries to get on the freeway, it is a little bit congested here in East LA, so we'll see. He made that left turn towards downtown LA. The CHP right there closing in, going under the transition roads there from the East LA interchange, and now into the downtown LA area. But this is 7th Street he's on right now, and he's going to ramp it up a little bit on the speed. Absolutely, and I think that's their strategy, is to try to bring it to an end. Now, David, I'm going to have you slide to the right, and we're going to have to be steep on this because the buildings are coming into play in downtown LA shortly. If he continues, well, now he makes that sweeping left turn there, almost hitting that vehicle, and you can cross back over to the other side. Oh yeah, so this might be an opportunity for them to get into that pit maneuver position and do that, make the turn left, David. Yeah, about 35 miles an hour is probably the max, and then for some vehicle this size, certainly it should be moving. Otherwise, the pursuit vehicle, or I should say the unit there behind the pursuit vehicle, will have a difficult time spinning that big heavy SUV. So there he goes. Look at that, wrong side of the road against traffic, because those CHP officers are right there, and they're not giving up. He's eastbound now, Olympic Boulevard at Rio Vista. Catch up to him. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely staying on Olympic Boulevard eastbound, approaching Lorena, right through the light there at Lorena. You see the CHP unit using a lot of caution there as they make their way through. So yeah, they have to be very careful for oncoming cross traffic when they go through a red light like that. So it delays them a little bit and gives this guy a little bit of breathing room. Oh. Wow, and that guy had no idea what was coming. He just kind of froze there in that lane, and luckily he was not hit. Yes, for sure. At these speeds, we're looking at, I'll pull up our map again, our map system, so you can see the speeds right now. He's traveling eastbound on Olympic, and you see the map overlay there of the cross streets above. But speeds picking up here quite quick for the surface streets. Oh man, so dangerous. Yeah, you know, you have a pedestrian that might try to cross outside of a crosswalk, move through traffic, you know, to try to save some time, not knowing that this guy's coming along, and then, you know, the last second he's got to make a move to get out of the way. So that's what we're seeing. A lot of people out here on foot, walking around, you know, a lot of activity on the ground, and that makes it so much dangerous. I believe so. Let's see. He's on Telegraph Road right now. That's the 5 freeway on the right-hand side of the screen. So he will have an opportunity to join the 5 freeway if he chooses to do so. A lot of traffic on the 5 freeway right now, so he may opt to not do that. But he's heading actually southbound on Telegraph back towards Pico Rivera, and we're going to try to catch back up to the driver here. But yeah, certainly he's got a lot of traffic up ahead on Telegraph itself for the shopping malls that are up ahead. Yeah, you know, they're still there. Oh, they did hit. Yep, he lost something there on that vehicle. So unfortunately, that's the first collision we've seen, and it looks like it may have been minor. The driver looked like he was able to pull over to the shoulder, but now it's ramped up a little bit because he's actually made contact with another driver. Copy, Catherine. Thank you. Oh, wow. He's southbound the 5 freeway, and I'm getting information from our assignment desk, working hard to get information for us. We're now hearing that that it was an assault with a deadly weapon. That was correct, but it's now we're being told it's a gun and not a knife. So a little bit of confusion there early on in the middle of the pursuit, where it changed from a gun to a knife. Now it's back to a gun. So again, but it was an assault with a deadly weapon. Southbound 5 freeway. We're crossing, or very shortly crossing, where the Citadel outlets are. He's weaving in and out of traffic, and like I said, heavy traffic in both directions on the 5, and he'll likely bail out because of that. Yes, for sure. And now he's using that shoulder. He could get off there, but it looks like he's going to stay on. But I can tell you up ahead, it definitely slows down all the way, sort of on and off traffic, all the way to the 605 freeway. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Jonathan. It almost looked like he wanted to do a U-turn there at, I believe that was Washington, but he decided not to. That luckily, because there was cars coming up the on-ramp. Exactly. So, yeah, it could be, Jonathan, that he's heading back towards a familiar ground, back towards Pico Rivera. Well, unfortunately, I can't see. It's on my pilot side. I don't see. It looks like they backed off quite a bit. They may have got stuck in some of that traffic, but it may be that they have pulled back. That doesn't mean that they're disengaging. It could mean that they're going to hand off to units up ahead that are waiting for this chase. So it's a little hard to tell. I'm going to ask my pilot, David Viskovich, to give me a heads up on the units if they've actually backed off. He can see they're about a half mile, he's telling me, behind. So they are still in it. They're still in trail, but it's likely because of the heavy traffic here. This is an exit. 605 is about, oh, look at it, he's losing control. Oh, wow. Big change there. Look at that. So he hit the gas a little too much, and it is. There they go. And if I'm not mistaken, oh yeah, look at, they're not, Oh yeah, here's a gas station, I believe. Yes, it's an Arco on this corner. There's going to be a lot of people. Let's go to the south side, David. Forward, go forward. They're going to go in. They might go inside the Arco station there. Keep going, David. Go right over it. That's the passenger, David. You got to get it up your side. Sorry about the picture here. That's the passenger, but the driver actually moved over here. I don't know if he got into this car. I lost him in the spin there. I don't have eyes on him. Okay, there he is. He's on the train tracks. Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. There he is on the train tracks, not running very fast. And there he goes, trying to make his way on that train tracks there. And let me come out to a wider shot. The airship has the night sunlight on him. And so far, no units directly behind him yet, but they're likely going to be running after him down that, and there he is. He's got his hands up. Well, he's going to try to jump the fence. Exactly. So they are going to take every precaution. Now he's in the backyard, and he made that jump over the fence, but he has no steam left. He's going to try to make his way over another small fence there. He may be jumping into danger here with it looks like a doghouse maybe. And you don't want to jump in the wrong neighborhood or wrong backyard with a dog, and certainly when you have no energy like this. Yeah, there you go. No, so he's down the side of this house right now. We're going to move forward a little bit. The airship is overhead. They got lights on him, and there he comes. Look at that. He made a quick change. Yeah, I made a change there. Now he's got a black tank top underneath that white shirt, and but that's no help. The night sunlight's on him. He's trying to make his way down the street. It looks that way. Well, he did get some distance between that officer and himself right now, but at this rate, they're going to get a unit here very quickly. This is Nehan and Todd Avenue in Commerce. And there it is. He got his hands up, so he's going to lay down, and he's going to finally submit to officers. That officer did catch up to him, and he's got his guns drawn. He's going to get him into custody, and that'll be it for this chase. So we had 5 in the car initially, 3 bailed out during the chase, and at the end here, the driver losing control, basically doing a pit maneuver on himself on the off-ramp, and disabled his own vehicle and tried to make a run for it, and that was that.
Watch more heart-stopping car chases happening across Southern California. Subscribe here. Thanks for watching. The Chase is on.